So what does a FIFA president have to do to get thrown out? Well, a vote today gave Sepp Blatter another 4 years to head the organization. News of this week's arrest of 9 FIFA officials tarnished Blatter's reputation, but apparently not enough to unseat him. Well, joining us is Mike Bako from the dailynational.com. Welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining us on the program. So what does he have to do to get kicked out of his seat?
Your guess is as good as anyone else's. Certainly the events that have gone on over the last week and few days with the indictments, but also just the track record and the news reports over the last few years. You mentioned the re-election. He's going to have a 4 more year reign. The question is it going to be a reign of terror? You know, are these corruption charges going to follow him, and will any of them actually stick to him?
Well, let's talk about the sponsors, because the sponsors have made it very clear. We've seen, Adidas, Hyundai, and McDonald's come out quite vocal and say things have to change, and they have to change pretty rapidly. How do you think the sponsors advertise are going to take the re-election of Sepp Blatter?
Well, here's the thing. All of those brands have come out and said we're going to monitor what's going on. Visa actually came out and said that we are very concerned about what's going on, and we may have to reevaluate our position. Only problem is a lot of these brands have long-term contracts with FIFA and other governing bodies. So when Visa comes out with these strong words, they have a contract with FIFA up until the year 2022, where the World Cup is going on. So a lot of this can just be talk from a lot of these brands, and you never really know what their actions are going to be until more charges come out, and if any of them actually stick to Blatter.
Well, what do the people voting for Sepp Blatter know that people like Cameron, the UK Prime Minister, didn't know? And of course, we had Michel Platini come out and say Sepp Blatter's got to go. We had the German minister. So we had a chorus of people say he's got to go, and yet he was re-elected.
Well, here's the thing. It's not what do they know, it's what does he know. He probably knows where all the bodies are buried in terms of what people are doing, what corruption charges could potentially be coming down. So I think it's more a matter of what does he know, and does he hold any sway over some voting bodies in terms of, hey, if they didn't vote for him, what would he possibly release about some of the things that he's doing, that they were doing, actually. So I think that's why you saw the votes for him. But you didn't see the overwhelming majority. He did not get the 2/3 of the majority for an outright victory. The second round was more or less a de facto, would have been a win for him, so his other contender dropped out. So it's going to be 4 more years for him. He holds all the cards right now.
So let's just talk about the possible indictments, because Loretta Lynch, the US Attorney General, has said actually they haven't finished their round of potential candidates, if you like, in terms of who they're after.
Right.
Do you think they might actually charge Sepp Blatter?
I don't know if they're going to charge him. I think when other international bodies start launching their own investigations, potentially into why Qatar and Russia were awarded the 2018 and 22 World Cup, I think that's when the dominoes may fall and ensnare him. So I think this vote right now entrenches him for 4 more years. It's your guess is as good as mine whether he's going to make it all 4 of those years.
Interesting you say that. Do you think this was politically motivated in any shape or form? Some analysts have said it has.
I think it could be politically motivated just because they want to see FIFA be cleaned up. Soccer, football is the international game. So many people have so much emotionally invested in this, and also from a monetary standpoint, billions of dollars being built on stadiums and sponsors pouring money into FIFA and the World Cup. So I think possibly there could be some political pressures down the line.
Sepp Blatter, in his acceptance speech, talked about changes. He even talked about more women in the organization. What do you take from that?
I think it's just more talk from him. I think when you look at what he's done over the last few years, how he's governed, even some of the things that he said up until just his re-election speech today, I mean, it's a lot of lip service, and it would be great for him to clean up, but almost all of the corruption has happened under his watch. So how can you have someone whose watch all the corruption happened trying to clean it up? It's a self-serving statement by him.
What about those people who didn't vote for Sepp Blatter going forward? Isn't there going to be a massive rift and disunity within FIFA? That's a heck of a job.
I think there's already a rift within FIFA. You saw it just in terms of some of the vocal opponents that came out against him, certainly the people that voted against him. So he's going to have an uphill battle here in terms of trying to win back the trust, if that's even possible. He has a very tall mountain to climb when it comes to that.
So a lame duck already re-elected.
Basically, how much force can he actually have over these next 4 years? Will there be too much pushback to basically anything he tries to enact, or anyone that he tries to put in power to try to clean up some of these allegations and some of the things that have been going on? So he has a tough battle.
Mike, a 10-second answer for this, please. Long-term prospect for the organization?
It's strong. There's so many millions of dollars invested in the World Cup. It's still the international game. Billions watch the World Cup. 100 million watch the Super Bowl. So that's the context that you have to look at this in.
Well, that's amazing. Mike, listen, we must leave it there, but thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.